The cameras flashed, the timeline refreshed, the fandom just froze. And just like that, hip-hop and the NBA collided in, honestly, the most explosive scandal of the year.
Oh, absolutely. It was a complete cultural shockwave.
Right. The headline that literally broke the internet was everywhere.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson cheated on Megan Thee Stallion. She's done.
And the fallout wasn't just, instantaneous gossip. It's actively redefining how we process and really how we tear apart celebrity relationships in real time.
Welcome to Startscope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
We really do. And today's a massive one.
It is. So, for those of you listening right now, the mission for today's deep dive is super clear. We are unpacking a huge stack of celebrity news articles, sports analyses, pop culture blogs, all of it, just to understand the sudden, shocking implosion of Megan Thee Stallion and Dallas Mavericks star Klay Thompson's relationship.
We have to separate the verified facts from the completely chaotic, viral social media rumors that are still flooding your feeds right now.
Because there is a lot of noise out there.
So much noise. Because when a relationship between two people at the absolute peak of their fields detonates this publicly, the story is never simply just a breakup.
Right. It's bigger than that.
Exactly. It becomes this wild case study in high-stakes pressure, the illusion of the digital fairy tale, and the very real psychological cost behind those headlines.
So let's just start with the detonation itself. On April 25, 2026, Megan dropped an absolute bombshell of an Instagram story.
Bombshell is the perfect word for it.
Yeah, she officially ended her relationship with Klay, publicly accusing him of cheating and having, quote, cold feet regarding monogamy. She completely pulled the plug on what everyone thought was the ultimate power couple.
And, the exact phrasing of her statement really warrants close analysis. She was incredibly deliberate with her words here.
Well, she definitely was. What exactly did she say again?
She wrote, quote, "Cheating had me around your whole family playing house, got cold feet, holding you down through all your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you can be monogamous."
Wow.
And she ends it with, "Bitch, I need a real break after this one. Bye, all."
See, I am stuck on that phrase, playing house.
It's heavy, right?
It really is. And shortly after that post went up, her rep released a statement noting that trust, fidelity, and respect are just non-negotiable for Megan. When they're compromised, she simply walks away.
Which is a very firm boundary.
Exactly. But to really grasp the whiplash of this moment, we have to rewind a bit. Watching this timeline unfold is like, it's like watching a highly curated rom-com montage on fast forward.
And then it suddenly, without any warning, turns into this gritty, heartbreaking drama.
Right. How do you go from getting a $200,000 Bentley and spending Thanksgiving with the parents to an explosive, very public cheating allegation in just a matter of weeks?
Well, the sheer velocity of their integration is the key factor here.
Yeah.
In modern PR, we often talk about a soft launch.
Like posting a blurry picture of 2 coffee cups or something?
Exactly, just to sort of gauge the public reaction. But they bypassed that entirely. They went straight into what you could call a hard integration.
Yeah, starting in the summer of 2025, they built this highly documented, super aspirational narrative.
Right. By July, they made their red carpet debut at the inaugural Pete and Thomas Foundation Gala in New York City. And that wasn't just a party.
No, not at all. That is Megan's philanthropic foundation, which is deeply, deeply tied to her late parents.
So bringing Klay into that specific space, it was a massive signal of permanent intent.
It is essentially the celebrity equivalent of taking a startup company public before you've even tested the product.
That is a perfect way to put it.
You're inviting millions of shareholders into the relationship before you even know if the foundation is solid. And those public displays just escalated from there.
Oh, totally. We had that cozy unboxing video in July.
Oh, right, where Klay gifted her those Labubu dolls while she was literally sitting on his lap.
Yeah, and then came this barrage of curated dates. A late-night dinner in NYC, where the paparazzi conveniently caught Klay opening the car door.
Plus the golf date where he was correcting her swing, and that
Yacht trip, where he publicly called her his queen.
Yes, you have to consider the psychological weight of those gestures. They were constructing a glass house in front of millions of people.
And they really reinforced it in November 2025, right? When 2 former NBA players, Jason Williams and Patrick Beverley, made those crude remarks on their podcast.
Oh, yeah. They basically blamed Megan for Klay's performance issues on the court.
Williams said something like, it only takes one, well, he used a very derogatory word for a woman's anatomy, to drag a battleship across the desert.
Just disgusting. But Klay fired back immediately, calling the comment disgusting and disturbing and challenging them on how they'd feel if their own wives were spoken about that way.
And that defense right there is what solidified him as the one in the eyes of her fans.
Yeah, he was the white knight. And it laid the groundwork for all the grand gestures that followed. I mean, in February 2026, he bought her that $200,000 light blue Bentley for her 31st birthday.
And Meghan was giving interviews talking about feeling healed. She cooked Thanksgiving dinner for his father, Michael Thompson.
Some reports even suggested she was actively manifesting an engagement.
Which really brings us to the core tension of what I'd call the monogamy trap.
The monogamy trap, what do you mean?
Well, Klay clearly enjoyed the stability, the public adoration, and the emotional support of a high-profile, committed relationship.
Right, he got all the PR benefits of defending her and bringing her into his family.
Exactly. But when it came time to actually adhere to the boundaries of that commitment, like Meghan stated, he balked. He wanted the architecture of the relationship without the actual walls.
But wait, I'm struggling to buy that this was just a guy getting scared of commitment out of nowhere. We saw him defend her so fiercely.
It does seem sudden from the outside.
Yeah, you don't just go from buying a $250,000 car and doing the whole Thanksgiving thing to sudden, inexplicable cold feet. There has to be a catalyst, right? People don't just flip like a switch.
You are looking for the environmental stressor, and Meghan actually provided it right there in her statement.
Oh, when she mentioned his basketball season.
Yes. She specifically called out his, quote, horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. To understand the emotional breakdown she described, we really have to look at the professional pressure cooker Klay was trapped in.
Right, because this wasn't just a normal slump for him. At age 36, this was his first full season with the Dallas Mavericks after spending 13 legendary years building a literal dynasty with the Golden State Warriors.
It's a massive transition.
Huge. We are talking about a 4-time NBA champion, a 5-time All-Star, arguably one of the greatest shooters in the history of the sport. And suddenly, he's in a new city, and it is a complete disaster.
Disaster is honestly the statistically accurate term here. The Mavericks struggled immensely. They finished with a 39-43 record. Ouch. And Klay had what is universally considered a career worst year. He averaged just 11.7 points per game and shot an abysmal 39.3% from the field.
That is rough.
It is.
Yeah.
For a legacy athlete facing his professional twilight, that kind of performance drop-off isn't just a bad year, it's an identity crisis.
It breeds massive career uncertainty, trade rumors, and just profound personal frustration.
Exactly.
It's like an A-list actor who played the invincible superhero for a decade is suddenly getting recast as a background extra. The ego depletion must be just staggering.
It really must be. Which brings us back to that incredibly awkward NBA Media Day back in September 2025.
Oh, I remember this. A reporter asked him a seemingly innocent softball question like, how has dating Meghan made you a better man on and off the court?
And instead of giving a generic, safe PR answer, Klay completely deflected. He bluntly said, I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, he shifted the focus entirely to his training. He started talking about how he has to train as if he's playing 100 games a year.
At the time, sports analysts just assumed he was keeping his private life private. But analyzing that deflection now, through the lens of Meghan's breakup post, it reveals a very different mechanism at play.
Like what?
Well, professional frustration often breeds personal instability. When Klay's identity as an elite NBA player was deeply threatened by his performance in Dallas, his need for external validation likely spiked.
So it's like a CEO whose company's tanking, so they bring all that toxic stress home to their partner.
Precisely.
But when your partner is a 3-time Grammy winner, starring on Broadway and dominating the charts, you can't just use them as an emotional punching bag.
No, you really can't.
You can't lean on them to survive your career worst year, drag them through your horrible mood swings, and then turn around and say, actually, I don't know if I can do the monogamy thing.
It is a classic, albeit very destructive, defense mechanism. When a highly successful individual feels their professional life spiraling out of control, they often subconsciously sabotage their personal life to regain a warped sense of agency.
Wow.
He leaned on her for the emotional stability he lacked on the court, but was unwilling to provide that same fidelity in return.
And it just leaves Meghan completely burned out. So, okay, we know the verified facts of why she left, but the real reason this story completely broke the internet might have less to do with the breakup itself and more to do with who the public thinks was involved.
The rumor mill went crazy.
It did. We'll get into that shocking twist next. If you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed to this deep dive. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
So moving from the verified timeline to the public reaction really requires us to examine the chaotic, highly reactive machinery of the digital rumor mill.
Right.
Almost the exact second Meghan's Instagram story went live, the internet decided it needed a specific target.
A wild rumor started trending immediately, linking Klay's alleged cheating to a 31-year-old WNBA guard for the Seattle Storm named Lexie Brown.
And it is fascinating and frankly terrifying how quickly we all just accept these narratives.
Yeah, I want you, the listener, to think about your own scrolling habits for a second. When a screenshot pops up on your timeline claiming to be a leaked DM, how often do you pause to verify the source before making a judgment?
Rarely, for most people. And the origin of this specific rumor really illustrates the profound lack of verification in modern digital consumption.
Where did it even come from?
Well, the claim did not come from an NBA insider.
Huh.
It did not come from a verified news outlet. And it certainly did not come from Meghan, who never named the other person at all.
Right, she kept it vague.
Exactly. The rumor actually originated from an ex-formerly Twitter account simply named Error.
Just error, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
This single, anonymous account threw a massive grenade into the discourse.
They claim that Lexie Brown had been posting direct messages from Klay onto her Instagram close friend story and the alleged content. That Klay told Lexie his relationship with Meghan was, quote, just for social media.
And to add fuel to the fire, these internet sleuths supposedly noticed that Klay and Lexie had recently started following each other.
Which means absolutely nothing. We need to definitively state the facts here. There is absolutely zero factual evidence or confirmation from any reliable NBA or entertainment sources to support this claim about Lexie Brown.
Zero. None at all.
The alleged close friends screenshots have never been verified. This is purely an internet fabrication that caught the algorithm, utilized a recognizable name, and just spread unchecked.
It really did.
So why do we do this? Why are we, as a consuming public, so obsessed with putting a face to the other woman? Is it because a story about emotional burnout, ego depletion, and a guy having generic commitment issues isn't cinematic enough?
That's a huge part of it.
Does the internet feel the need to literally invent a WNBA crossover episode just to make the drama feel complete?
The internet has an insatiable need for a tangible villain. A concept like, the psychological stress of a 39 and 43 NBA season is incredibly abstract.
Right, it's hard to meme that.
Exactly. But a specific WNBA player, that is concrete. It gives the fandom a target to direct their outrage toward. It transforms a sad, complex human failure into a simplistic soap opera.
It is also deeply, deeply ironic. Think about it. Just months ago, Klay was the one publicly demanding respect for Meghan, calling out podcasters for using degrading language about women.
He really positioned himself as the protector.
He did. And now his actions have sparked a scandal that is dragging another female athlete, Lexie Brown, through the exact same toxic digital mud based on absolutely nothing.
The ecosystem that praised him for defending women is now weaponizing his alleged infidelity to attack another woman. It really highlights the dark side of influencer culture.
And the speed at which a power couple narrative can invert from a fairy tale into a digital witch hunt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Meghan established a healthy boundary by walking away from compromised values, yet the digital reaction was to immediately violate the boundaries of a completely uninvolved third party.
The machinery just never stops. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future deep dives into how social media shapes and sometimes completely destroys these celebrity narratives.
Absolutely. And, before we wrap up our analysis of the sources today, it is really worth stepping back to evaluate the foundational premise of this entire saga.
Yeah, I want you to consider the absolute fragility of the modern power couple. We throw that term around like it's the ultimate aspiration.
Like it's the finish line.
Exactly. But when two people are at the absolute pinnacle of their high-pressure fields, is the relationship destined to crack under the weight of uneven trajectories?
It's a really tough dynamic to balance.
Think about it. Can a relationship truly survive if one partner is rapidly ascending, starring on Broadway and dominating the music charts, while the other partner is visibly and painfully losing their athletic identity on a national stage?
It makes you wonder if the power couple title is actually a goal or if it's really a curse.
Exactly. Is it a goal or is it a curse? Definitely something for you to chew on. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.